The Intel CPU dispatcher inside your laptop is still throttling your speed right now, and the FTC can't stop it. It doesn't need a warrant. It doesn't need you to click accept. Every time you open an app, it silently checks one thing about your processor, and if the answer isn't what it wants, it quietly hands you the slower code path. No warning. No log you'll ever see. Just less speed permanently, and you'll never know why your machine feels wrong. The agency that was supposed to end this signed an order 15 years ago. It's still running. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how it survived. Here's what this system officially is. Deep inside compiled software, games, benchmarks, even everyday productivity apps, sits a tiny piece of logic called a CPU-ID dispatcher. Its job on paper is efficiency. It asks your processor to identify itself, then routes your code down the fastest path your specific chip supports. That's the pitch, optimization, nothing sinister. Every major chip company uses some version of it, and for years nobody outside a compiler engineering team even knew the check existed. It was buried in binaries, invisible, unaudited, running silently on billions of machines before a single regulator ever asked a question. Here's what it's actually doing. That dispatcher doesn't just ask, "What chip are you?" It asks, "Are you a genuine Intel chip?" And if the answer comes back anything else, AMD, a clone, a rebranded core running identical instructions, it doesn't route you to a comparable fast path. It routes you to the slowest, most conservative code the compiler has, even when your processor is fully capable of running the optimized version. Two identical instructions, two identical capabilities, one silent penalty based entirely on a name string your chip reports at startup. Independent benchmarkers caught it. AMD sued over it, and it's still running. The FTC stepped in during 2010. They opened a case, built a record, and issued a consent order. Intel agreed on paper to stop the practice, to make its compiler disclose when it was branching code by vendor ID instead of actual capability. Journalists called it a win. Case closed, everyone assumed. But here's the part nobody reported. The order regulated disclosure. It never required Intel to delete the mechanism. It never mandated an audit of software already compiled and already shipped. The FTC negotiated a label change, not a removal, and that's the loophole that makes it unstoppable. The consent order only bound Intel's own compiler going forward, but by 2010, that dispatcher was already baked into millions of lines of legacy code, embedded in libraries, statically linked into applications still running on machines today. Nobody has to rebuild that software. Nobody has to touch it. The check fires every time the binary loads, silently comparing your CPU's identity string against genuine Intel. And the FTC has no authority over code compiled before the order, no mandate to chase down every vendor who linked against that old library, and no mechanism to force a retroactive patch on software nobody remembers writing. It's not that Intel is defying the order. It's that the order was never built to reach the part that still matters. And it's still running right now, inside software on your machine, deciding your speed before you've even opened the app. Remember that opening fact, no warrant, no click, no log. That's not a metaphor. There is no consumer-facing setting that shows you when the dispatcher fires, no notification, no benchmark that flags it unless you go looking with specialized tools engineers use to trace instruction paths. You could own a processor fully capable of running every optimized path in existence, and some fraction of your daily software could still be quietly downgrading you, and the only proof would be a shortfall you chalk up to, "My laptop's just old." So think about what that means for the hardware sitting in your bag right now. If you're running anything other than a chip Intel-linked code recognizes as genuine, some percentage of your CPU's real capability is being withheld from you silently, by design. Inside code your own operating system trusts and executes without asking permission. You paid for a specific chip. You may not be getting what it can actually do, and there's no dashboard that tells you the gap. So who benefits from a 15-year-old order that regulates a label instead of the mechanism itself? Who benefits from legacy binaries nobody's obligated to rebuild, still shipping, still dispatching, still deciding your speed before you've touched a single setting. The case was closed in 2010. The code was never closed. It's still running. And the only question left is whether anything you own today was ever actually running at its real speed, or just the speed it was quietly willing to give you.